So listen, seriously, y'all.
Let's go. We about to.
No, we're about to go over the rules so we can know what we're doing. No, we're about to go over the rules so we can know what we're doing.
Let's go. She tricked us. Yeah, you ready to go?
No, wait. Okay, no. Listen, no.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Nique, and you're tuned in to Nique at Night. Okay, so tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about this whole situation with Nique, the manager of all of these popular YouTubers. Nique is also the mother of Airi, and Airi is a popular YouTuber with a big platform, and her mother is the one who orchestrated a lot of YouTubers to come together to bring their platforms together so that they can all grow with one another, doing pranks, collabs, and things like that.
To make it clear to everybody that's watching this video, collectively, this team right here, everybody on this squad has put in work consistently.
And from the looks of it, it looked like they were pretty happy in the beginning. They were even cyberbullying drama channels who came after the manager and people who looked at this situation and considered her to be a fraud.
All jokes aside, I am somebody's mother. Watch your mouth. Oh!
Watch your mouth. Listen, for everybody that's in my people's comment, bro, my other people's comment, cuz, say that jump to all of us, bro. Cause I'm really with that, dog. Oh my mama, cuz. No, bro, I'm really with that, cuz.
But now it has come to light that maybe things weren't so peachy clean. Now, my understanding of this, now I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking at this at both sides. I'm not taking up for Nique, and I'm not taking up for these YouTubers who be scamming people anyways. I'm not taking up for either of them. I'm just looking at it from both sides and kind of gathering what these people are saying and making my own conclusion of what is being brought forth. Now, when I first looked at this and I started to see them, dropping all of these receipts and telling about how, she wasn't a good manager, how she was stealing money and things like that, I was like, okay, dang, maybe she really is out here scamming people.
Basically what was going on, Nique was stirring up the mix and picking out who she wanted. You know what I'm saying? Who she wanted to beef.
In fact, the fraud manager who used to manage us, Nique, aka her real name is Nique, if y'all did not know that. Because Nique is the snake, this dirty person.
All that shit was snakery, bro. That's snake shit, bro. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. Guess what? And I'm gonna end on this note. Because I'm hurt. It's fucked up what happened. I hate that shit had to end like this. But like it is what it is. I played so smart, my nigga. Listen, I didn't respond to nothing. I didn't respond to nothing.
I feel like one day she would say, oh, yeah, I'm going to let y'all go in January. And then the next day she'll be like, I feel like we can keep going. I feel like I can, we can start juicing this some more. I feel like this just the beginning for y'all.
Okay, so you see little snippets of what they have to say, and this happened 5 days ago, so I'm pretty sure that you guys are up to speed on, the ins and outs of what all these YouTubers had to say about it. I'm going to give you more so just like my thoughts on the situation. I normally put all the receipts line by line. Like when I talk about something, I show what I'm referencing, and then I talk about something and I show like a screenshot or this. I'm not even about to do all of that because it's already 5 days old, and I'm just going to give my thoughts, and that's just what it is. So it's pretty much just going to be audio. It's not about to be a whole bunch of visuals from this point forward. It's just my thoughts on the matter. So here's what I think. A lot of times what happens in these situations, people side with the people they like without using common sense and thinking for themselves. They automatically say, oh, I like Nique and King. Oh, I like Corey and Carmen. Ooh, I like Em and Vaughn, or ooh, I like whatever YouTuber, and they disregard the facts of the matter, and people don't use their common sense to kind of listen and assess the situation, and I think that's what's happening now. Another thing, I think that because these people grew so fast, their audiences grew so fast, people are forgetting where these people came from and where their audiences were when they linked up with Nique, Ari's mother. Since Airi is the only one that has her progression of her YouTube following on her page, I'm going to just use her as an example. And these people, Corey and Carmen, Nique and King, all of these people who came together with her mama, they started out with low subs. subs, but because they had couples channels and people were invested into fake relationship goals, their channels skyrocketed a lot quicker, but that does not take away from the help that Janae gave them and where they came from and where they started from. So if you take a look at Airi's markers, in July of last year, she had 50,000 subs. Then fast forward to October, she had 200,000 subs. Then this year, she had 1 million subs. So if you think about the other people who were involved in these collabs, they had babies involved. They had relationships involved. They had people more invested to their stories. So their situations grew a little bit quicker, but that does not take away from the hand in the role that Janae played in this whole situation. I feel like all of them are playing victim and they're trying to throw her under the bus for something that they were well aware of. She didn't put a gun to their head to sign these contracts. And what it sounds like is disgruntled people just unhappy with the contracts that they have because they feel like they can do a better job themselves because, quite frankly, they learned the system. She taught them the game. She taught them how to finesse YouTube. She did it with Chris and Queen. She did it with Iam and Von. She did it with the whole first group, DMB Nation. She has the formula to finesse YouTube. She then got a new crew, gave them the formula to finesse fake and lied to the audiences. She gave them the recipe. So then once they got to a point where they felt like they no longer needed her, her help was null and void to them. And now they're throwing her under the bus for a contract that they were very well aware that they signed. They won these audiences by lying to their subscribers. She helped them orchestrate these pranks to lie to their subscribers and act like these pranks are real and be invested in fake stories and fake storylines. She was pretty much the Mona Scott of YouTube, and she orchestrated these channels to get to where they are. And people are calling her a scammer, but it's like, okay, so it was okay for her to scam y'all audiences and come up with these fake things, but when y'all feel like y'all scammed, it's a problem. And what y'all using as reference to being a scam really sounds just only like a safety net put in place for fame-hungry people who once they get on, they gonna forget who you are, which is happening clear as day. When I hear about, her being a scammer, I wanted to listen to all of them and I wanted to hear them out. And when I listened to their snippets, it sounds like what she had in place, the contract that she had in place was a safety net so that when these people got to a certain plateau and they got big-headed, they could not just shut her out. Now, are the terms 100% fair? Does it sound fair when you're listening to it? And it sounds like, I'll take ownership of this if you do this. It sounds like when it's read off in that way, it sounds like, dang, that's kind of, steep. But if you have common sense and you think about it, it's really nothing more than a safety net for people who get to a certain level and they shut you out. And that's exactly what all of these people did. She did not put a gun to their head to sign these contracts, but because they wanted to be internet famous, they wanted the recipe, they wanted the formula that she had that was proven with Chris and Queen, DMB Nation, Iam and Von, all of those people. She put these people together. She had the recipe. They wanted the recipe. They were starving for the recipe. They disregarded her terms, which sound to me like a simple safety net. Now, I don't stand for nobody taking nobody's money. I don't stand for nobody scamming people. So I don't want you guys to get the impression that I'm painting Janae as a saint in this situation, because I feel like she has fault too. But I feel like there needs to be a lot more accountability on these grown-ass individuals in the role that they played in this whole thing playing out. Now, if Janae is taking money from people, I think that that's jacked up. If she's going behind their backs taking money and, ciphering cash and things like that, then I think that that's wrong. But what these people are alleging are complaints about a contract that she did not put a gun to their head to sign. But because they wanted her recipe, they wanted her formula, they were eager to disregard what her terms of her contract was. She just got through with DMB Nation, Chris and Queen, and all of them. And once they blew up, they didn't need her no more and they just threw her to the woods. So I can understand why she would want to have a safety net in place so that when she gives these people her YouTube fake fake prank formula and her solution on how to finesse YouTube, she didn't want them to do the same thing. So she put in place a system to where, listen, I'm orchestrating all of this stuff and these are my ideas, and it's proven because they talked about how she came up with the reality house and she came up with putting them together in certain situations. It's proven that she orchestrated a lot of the finesse that got them to win over their audiences with lies. So I feel like I understand why she would put a safety net on that and why she would want to protect the work that she put in, because it's easy to grow a following and then just not need a person no more because people like you regardless, and you've already learned it and you don't need her. So I don't feel like it was so much of a scam thing. Now, when it comes to DMB Nation and they made accusations of her stealing $100,000 and things like that, I feel like that's wrong if she did, in fact, steal $100,000. But the part that has me second guessing and scratching my head and doesn't make sense is if she stole $100,000 from you, why is she not behind bars? And if you guys are not familiar with DMB Nation University situation, basically they had made these promises and these claims that they would help people become YouTube famous. They collected money from a lot of people. They were supposed to have classes. They were supposed to like tour all around teaching people how to become popular YouTubers like them. The situation fell through. It didn't happen. The people ended up getting their money back. They ended up getting reimbursed. There was more people who were involved in this whole DMB Nation University situation other than the manager and other than Damian Bianca. And so when they say that she took $100,000, I'm not saying that she didn't, but it's just odd to me. If you take some money from me and it's in the thousands, not 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, but $100,000, you better believe I am going to collect my coin by any means necessary. And if you know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to bring the law on you and get my money some way, somehow. I've never heard of any stipulations that, you know, they are seeking damages or anything like that. Doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but it just seems odd to me that she's stealing this large amount of money and no consequences or repercussions seem to happen behind it. And despite all of these people already knowing this information, they decided to sign with her anyways. So obviously they felt some way, somehow, that maybe she wasn't at fault for the issue. And I don't understand why it's being brought up now, because for one, I've never seen actual receipts of her stealing any money, no paper trail. And I've never heard a valid explanation as to how she stole $100,000. And the people who all were a part of this DMB Nation University that gave their money to DMB Nation University got their money refunded back. So I don't know where the $100,000 lies. I really don't know. It doesn't make sense, but you know, it is what it is. Not saying that she didn't take it. Not saying that. It just don't make sense that she ain't behind bars if she did take that amount of money. And on top of that, Damian never explained, to my knowledge, how she took the money. He just threw the allegation out there and said that she took $100,000 from him. But like I said, from my understanding, all the people got the money back from DMB Nation University, and another guy was also involved in that situation. So I really don't even know, like, okay, he's saying that she took it, but I don't see a receipt of her taking it. I don't see an explanation. Now, these YouTubers are saying that she has control over their YouTube accounts. So maybe she had control over DMB's YouTube account, their PayPal account or whatever, and maybe she was ciphering funds. I don't really know that. I don't understand why these grown people would be making money and not looking over their money. But hey, it is what it is. They say she took $100,000. I don't see proof of her taking $100,000. All I see is basically complaints as to a bad management contract that they willingly signed. That's just what it is, point blank, period. They signed a contract. They didn't I'm not going to say that they didn't fully understand what they were signing, because all of them are over the age of 18. They're all in their 20s. So they should know what they're signing and what they're getting themselves into. And when I heard parts of the contract being read off, it sounded like the terms was plain and simple. They don't sound like they're fair terms, but this is what these people agreed to. There was also allegations as far as Armand and Trey, where where they alleged, or the guy Von alleged, according to him, that she took over their AdSense account, and she basically offered for them to use her AdSense account because they didn't have an AdSense account, which does not make sense, because any YouTuber knows once you meet the threshold, you just say boom, boom, boom. It's easy as 1, 2, 3 to set up AdSense. So that doesn't make sense to me. Not saying that it didn't happen, not saying that they weren't gullible and naive. It just does not make sense to me. Anyway, so then moving forward, that was the first squad of people that she dealt with, and everything was all bad. So they all parted ways, and everybody, considered her to be a fraud. They considered her to be a scammer. So now these new people, all of these new people who are now deciding to want to come under her wing, now all of these people are trying to call her out to be a fraud, when in fact you already knew what the deal was with her on the first instance. And these people are not even alleging that she stole money from them. The people who are now coming forward, none of their allegations really have to do with an amount of money that she allegedly took from them, and everything to do with them just being disgruntled about a contract that they willingly signed. I think that this was them being gullible and wanting to be so internet famous so fast, and wanting to be big YouTubers so fast, that they didn't realize the terms of the agreement that they had. And once they got to a certain level in their YouTube career, they didn't need her no more. It's like, yo, we didn't learn how to finesse this. We didn't learn how to finagle this. We don't need you no more. And you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. In the video with Nique and King, I didn't go to their channel and watch it. I just seen a snippet on a T page, and basically what they were saying in their proof of their receipts of her being like grimy, she was being grimy, or quote unquote like, a jacked up person, because they requested for her to send over a copy of the contract that they should have in their own possession. And so, they said that, she didn't send over the contract and everything like that. But the whole time I was watching it, and I was wondering, like, if you are having this person be your manager and you're paying this person to manage you and things like that, if you sign a contract, why do you not have your own contract? Why does she have to send you your paperwork? That's not her responsibility.
After he asked, where's our contract, he had been asking for it. So she was trying to send us a copy of the contract that we didn't sign. So we don't want a copy of the contract we didn't sign, because we don't remember what's exactly on the contract, and we don't want you to change nothing and then try to send us a new contract.
Now, little kids with no common sense, they'll look at that and then be like, oh man, Janae is so jacked up. She didn't send him the contract. But an adult like myself is wondering, why don't you have your own copy of your own contract that you're entering in? Why don't you know that the clause is in there that if you change your password, she got the authorization to recover your password? And again, I don't think that was necessarily a scamming thing. I think that was just a safety net thing, because once she gave all these people the finesse and the finagle of how to win over these audiences by lying to them, they shut her out because they learned the game and they felt like they could do the game on their own. And so I feel like she wanted to put in place a safety net to help, the game. Now, when Airi decided to defend her mother, and I'm going to just say this because when she decided to defend her mother, she did not make her mother sound like a credible person, in my opinion. She didn't. She made her mother sound like somebody who took advantage of young kids, and she made her mother sound like, she didn't really address the real issues. A lot of the things that Airi was saying in her mother's defense was, oh, if she was a horrible person, then why would you trust her with your personal business? Why would you confide in her? That has nothing to do with somebody scamming. Airi, did your mama scam them or not? What was the tea? But when it boils down to it, and now that I've looked at all of the things that they said, it doesn't sound like her mother scammed them. It sounds like they just signed a contract that they just were not happy with at the end of the day, and they felt like they knew the game enough to do it on their own, and they didn't need her. But it didn't sound, Airi did not paint her mother in a good light to me in that video. I was like, okay, you sound like your mama did scam him, but when I don't hear accusations of actual theft of money, I can't call her a total quote unquote scammer because these people knew what they were signing. So it's like a flip of the coin. You get what I'm saying? Like maybe she did not deliver everything like she said she would, but it sounds like these people were well aware of the terms that they agreed to. And these people, you guys have to remember, when they got with her, before they got her recipe, their followings were crap. They had no big followings. They have big followings now because she orchestrated DMB Nation's, all of that. She was behind all of their fake pranks and their fake breakups and their fake get back together and their fake counseling. She was behind all of that. So when it came to the new team, she gave them the recipe. So it looks like, they just won overnight and they won by themselves. But if you really have common sense, this lady gave them the game. And yes, it is them who is doing the pranks. Yes, it is them who is in front of the camera. Yes, it is their personalities that is winning over people. But she got them ahead of the game because she put them in a position to finagle and finesse their audiences. Period, point blank. So at the end of the day, is she a saint? No, I don't think that she's a saint. I think that she probably did have a lot of flaws. And when I seen her video with them, like, their squad video where they was all acting out of control and confronting people for calling them out for fake pranks and all of that, it showed to me that she had no control of the room. She couldn't control these kids, so I don't know how well she was going to do as a manager. So I feel like she probably did not have the structure that she needed, but she had a good idea. She had a good finesse game, and she helped them, But when it comes to the word scammer, I really don't know. I want to hear Damien tell me how she stole $100,000. How? What did she do to steal $100,000? Then I'll be like, okay, this bitch is dead wrong. She a scammer. She done took his money. She did X, Y, and Z. But simply saying she took $100,000 from me, but then don't show no receipts, I can't really, what can I really do with that? And then the new people who are now coming up, they're not saying she took money. They're saying she had a safety net on our account. That's what they're saying. So it's like, y'all just signed up with something that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm going to just end this because I've been rambling for some time. Y'all let me know what y'all think. If y'all made it to the end of this video, I want y'all to hit the half moon emoji, and I want y'all to put the crown emoji in the comment section to let me know that you made it to the end, because I've been rambling a long time and I want to know who is here with me to the end, and I want to know what y'all think about this situation. Do y'all think that she scammed them? Do you think that they did not know what was going on? Do you think that she's totally to blame? I want to know what you guys think about this situation. Let's talk about it in the comments. All right, guys, that's all for this video. Stay tuned for more celebrity news and gossip and YouTubers tea. But in order to do that, you know what you got to do. Hit that like and subscribe button right now. Don't forget to drop that half moon emoji and that crown emoji so I know that you made it to the end. All right, peace.